The House of Representatives has approved a White House request to claw back 2 years of previously approved funding for public media. The rescissions package now moves on to the Senate. This move poses a serious threat to local stations and public media as we know it. Please take a stand for public media today at goacpr.org. Thank you.
Hey, before we get to this week's show, we're working on something new for NPR Plus supporters. They're pulling me out of mothballs to answer some of your car questions. So if you have a car question you'd like to ask me, I'll give you a number and you can call in a moment. And just like the old days, our extremely lazy producers will eventually listen to the messages, pick a few callers for me, we'll set up a time to talk, and I'll screw up the answers just like the old days. NPR Plus supporters will find these occasional, and I do mean occasional episodes, in their NPR Plus Car Talk feed. So if you have a car question, here's the number. It's 888-522-5478. That's 888-522-5478. Now here's the show.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week from the Department of Gender Studies here at Car Talk Plaza. Now, as you know, this is an ongoing field of study for us. And this week, we present yet another contribution to the scholarly literature. This came to us from Tony Martino via email, and we don't know where he got it from.
Well, actually, we do, because if you read it carefully, it came from the guy who created The Simpsons, Matt, whose last name no one understands. Graining, greening, Growning.
The Graining of America. Yeah. I read that book.
Okay, here it is. Women speak in estrogen and men listen in testosterone. And it's basically some more information on the differences between the genders. And I am fascinated by this. Okay, regarding various topics. I'll just pick a few here.
Pray, proceed, Watson.
Handwriting. To their credit, men do not decorate their penmanship. They just chicken scratch. Women use scented colored stationery, and they dot their I's with circles and hearts. Women use ridiculously large loops in their P's and G's. It's a royal pain to read a note from a woman. Even when she's dumping you, she puts a smiley face at the end of the note. See, and that's true.
Have a nice life.
Have a nice life, jerk. Nicknames. If Gloria, Suzanne, Deborah, and Michelle go out for lunch, they call each other Gloria, Suzanne, Deborah, and Michelle. If Mike, Phil, Rob, and Jack go out for a brewski, they refer to each other as Bullet Head, Butchie, the Jocko, Frank,
Joe Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, true. Offspring. Children. A woman knows all about her children. She knows about dentist appointments, soccer games, their names, romances, their best friends, their favorite foods, their secret fears, their hopes, and their dreams. A man is vaguely aware of some short people who live in the house. This is good. Cats. Now, we know about cats. Women love cats. Men say they love cats, but when women aren't looking, men kick cats. Now, I happen to know that you have had several incidents with your wife's cats.
Yes, I have.
I didn't know cats could fly until that
Nor
day.
did they.
My brother actually taught his wife's cat to fly. It was sort of a trial by fire. And he learned.
It had been a particular. I have to explain it now. It had been a particularly exasperating day
for you or the cat.
And I had been expecting an important phone call, and there I was this was in the days before the answering machine.
Yeah.
And there I was in the shower trying to unwind, so to speak, whereupon I hear the phone ringing.
Oh.
I jump out of the shower, afraid I'm going to miss my call, and in doing so, I slip and smash my shoulder, which subsequently required a cortisone shot, into the door frame of the bathroom.
Oh.
I manage, however, to get to the phone before it stops ringing.
And it's the cat.
And close. I pick up the phone and I say, hello? Hello? And there's no one there. And I realize that my cat had chewed through the wire.
Oh.
You know, the curly wire that runs from the receiver to the rest of the unit.
It's a lot of fun to play
as
with
he
that.
liked to do.
Yeah.
That's the day he learned to fly. But
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
it's good. Hey,
it wasn't anything cruel. It
I'm
was
sure he
just
stood off from the crowd.
he did,
Not every cat can do that.
and it made us. It bonded us. We were closer than ever for those next
No,
few
he
days.
was pretty far away
For
from
those
you.
next few days that he lived. By the way, I should tell everyone that has been listening. If you haven't been listening, then it won't make any difference. But for those of you that have been listening, we've been on vacation.
Yeah.
And my brother divulged before we went on the air that he knows a little less about cars than he did 4 weeks ago. And I can't imagine how that could be possible
Oh, yeah.
if you to know a little less. But
No, at least I could recognize occasionally. I'd say, oh, there goes one of those Japanese, Toyotas.
But as often
But
as
now-
the case, when you've done something for a very long period of time, it comes back to you. So I'm sure that
I'm gonna try.
that just like falling off a bicycle comes back to you,
Yeah.
that doing the show will come back to you
Well,
in due time. So
let's
let's
give it a
just
shot.
Give it a shot. What's the number? 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, Tom and Ray. This is Wendy from Washington, D.C.
Wendy.
Yes,
Is it Wendy or Windy?
Wendy.
No, Wendy is Chicago.
W-E-N-D-Y.
Wendy. No, they call my brother Windy. Well, we won't discuss that in polite company.
So you're not a politician or a lawyer, are you, Wendy?
No, I'm not. I'm a grad
Excellent.
student.
Grad student.
Studying law?
I'm doing business, my MBA.
Oh, that's even worse.
Really?
All right, but we'll talk to you anyway.
Okay, thanks.
All right, what's
MBA.
shaking?
Well, I have a problem with a 1970 VW Beetle.
Yeah.
It's been sitting in my parents' garage
For how long?
for about 2 years now.
Oh.
So my idea, just kind of off the top of my head, was that, I could fly out and I could drive back the car, and I'd have this cute little car and putt around the city.
Where do they live?
They live in Wichita, Kansas.
Forget
What are
it.
you, nuts?
Impossible.
You're going to fly to Wichita and you think you're going to make it back to Washington, D.C.
Okay,
with
well,
us?
that was my question. Do you think it'll make it, or do you think it's worth it?
How close are you to
No
getting your
and no.
degree?
What?
How close are you to obtaining?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah?
So.
I don't think you're ready yet.
Well, she's not. She didn't take that
Did you
course.
take the
I'm a
decision-making
thrifty sort of
course yet?
person.
Did you? Yeah. Did you
I'm
do
a
the
thrifty
decision
person.
theory?
I'd rather drive that car than have it be sitting in the garage. And my parents, they don't want to sell the car.
Here's the deal. It is very unlikely that you'll make it back from Wichita, Kansas,
Okay.
to Washington, D.C. And it seems like a good idea, but it really isn't a very good
Okay.
idea.
On the other hand, in the words of the immortal Warner Oland
Ah, yes. You
or
could,
Sidney Toler.
you could die of boredom
No.
by not taking any chances.
Well, it's often attributed to Confucius, but I believe it was Sidney Toler who played Charlie Chan in the movies. Yeah. The world's longest journey begins with a single step. So you could try driving from
So
like.
it could
where-
be kind of like an odyssey. I could make.
what
a
if you made it
movie
from Wichita to Topeka? Is that the wrong direction?
No, it's
That's the right direction, isn't it?
relatively speaking, the right direction.
yeah, if you did that,
Then you'd have
turn around
proven
and go right back.
you'd have proven that the car could go that far.
If it can go a little distance,
And
why
if you can
can't it?
extrapolate, if it can go 50 miles, why can't it go 500
Right.
in 50-mile increments?
Sure.
So I would take little trips with it and hobble your way across the country.
And don't ever mention the fact that you're going to go all the way to D.C. The car,
Not in the car.
The
Well, that's
car
what-
won't know. The
the
car thinks you're
mechanic,
going. Hey, you say, hey, hon, let's hop down to the supermarket and buy a quarter of vanilla ice cream. The car says, I can do that. That's nothing.
And the way you convey this to the car is you never put more than $2 worth of gas in the tank
Right.
at a time.
So just kind of from gas station to gas
I
station.
think that's what you have to do. You have to fool the car and then say, surprise, we're in Washington.
And it'll fall apart.
I mean, you've got the rest of the summer to do this because we know you're just goofing off in Washington.
That's true. So, okay, it would take a long time.
No, here's my alternative, and I think you will find it interesting, enlightening, and charming.
Okay.
Tow it back.
You hire a teenager to drive it. No, you hire a
perfect.
company to flatbed it to Washington.
I thought about that,
Because-
but I thought it would be so expensive.
No.
Well, first of all, it's not that expensive. Don't forget, you still have to buy a one-way ticket to Kansas, which they're going to charge the dickens out of you for.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can do that for less than the airplane ticket. I will bet you.
And for less time, you'll be sitting in your apartment and the doorbell will ring.
And the guy says, your car is here, madam.
The guy will say, Candygram.
Yeah.
And your car
I've brought the car around, madam.
And I think the advantage of this is you can stick your father. Why pay the repair bills all the way across the country where you can have Dad fix up the car before it leaves Kansas?
That's the plan, see.
And you won't have to spend that very boring weekend with Mom and Dad.
And that 2 weeks driving from
my
Kansas.
parents listen to the show. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's better to be upfront.
See you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we have to pause right now and take a break.
Pause for station identification. Is this where we go powder our noses?
Powder? Powder? The only thing that's going to help your nose is maybe gunpowder. We'll be back in a minute.
Decades ago, Brazilian women made a discovery. They could have an abortion without a doctor, thanks to a tiny pill. That pill spawned a global movement, helping millions of women have safe abortions regardless of the law. Hear that story on The Network from NPR's Embedded and Futuro Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is already the fastest-selling video game console of all time. That's despite the technology behind it lagging years behind its competitors.
Without saying it, Nintendo is selling a culture.
On The Indicator, we unpack the unusual business strategy that transformed a tiny Japanese toy company into a global multimedia giant. Listen to The Indicator from Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts.
You know those things you shout at the radio or maybe even at this very NPR podcast? On NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, we actually say those things on the radio and on the podcast. We're rude across all media. We think the news can take it. Listen to NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and killing time at work. Now, our regular listener knows that the puzzler has been AWOL for several weeks now.
Our regular listener? We only have one listener now? We had six.
We may be down to none. We don't know. But should you find yourself in urgent need of a puzzler, if you suddenly turn to the person next to you and say, whoa, I got to take a puzzler. Here's what you can do. Just go to the Car Talk section of cars.com and we'll provide you with a Car Talk puzzler from the archives.
Ooh.
And if we're feeling generous, we'll throw in the answer, too. So if you're desperate, you're lonely, you have nothing to do, and no one at work will talk to you,
yeah, this is the thing to do.
Visit the Car Talk section of cars.com and get yourself a puzzler. It will cheer you up.
Hey, do you know what it's time for?
Time to cut ourselves a deal for transactional immunity?
No. It's time to play Stump the Chumps! Now, Stump the Chumps, for you people who haven't been here before, is that portion of the show where we invite a caller from a previous show back onto the air to tell if our advice was any good at all.
And more importantly, why it wasn't. So who's this week's stumper, Tommy?
Well, according to the little notes I have here, it's Kate from Toledo, and I'm sure our producers picked Kate solely for her ability to make us look stupid.
No,
and
how hard was that? So, all right, what's Kate's problem?
Kate's Volvo 940 Turbo occasionally wouldn't start, but what made things complicated for us is that Kate's husband is a mechanic, and he couldn't figure it out. I'm beginning to remember this call vaguely.
Was he incompetent or something?
Kate didn't seem to think so. No, he wasn't incompetent.
He is a good mechanic, and the reason I can tell he's a good mechanic is because he just recently sold his 30-foot boat, and he's looking for a bigger one. So I know he's a good mechanic.
Is there a correlation between the mechanic's competency and the size of his boat?
Oh, yeah, the more incompetent the mechanic, the bigger the boat. So what do we tell her anyway?
I don't remember, but it says here, well, her husband helped us by figuring out that it was getting spark, and he replaced all kinds of stuff. So we picked a fuel pump relay because it was something small that he could have easily overlooked, and we couldn't think of anything else, as I recall.
All right. Kate, are you there?
I am here.
Yay! All right, now before you roundly embarrass us on Stump the Chumps, we have to ascertain the following.
Is it true that you have not been offered transactional immunity by anyone at National Public Radio or Car Talk Plaza in exchange for a favorable answer here today? Is that true?
That is true.
Now, would you like some transactional immunity?
All right, now how did we do?
Well, you actually gave me two pieces of advice, and one was to change the relay, which he did do. The second was to hook up some kind of a timing light to make sure that at the time that it wasn't working, it was getting spark.
Right. And?
Well, we did change the relay.
And?
It failed.
But I sense that there's more to the story.
Well, there is. The second thing was to hook up the light.
Yes.
After he had changed the relay, he was going to get to hooking up the light. The car failed 2 times before he got to hooking up the light.
And he found out it was a spark problem.
Oh, no. I said I'd had enough. We were on the verge of divorce, and so I did the American thing. I went and sold the car to some other person that...
Wait, so we don't even know what was wrong with it?
No.
Oh, Shay.
But I did...
Wait a minute, that's not in the rules. You can't play Stump the Chumps if you sold the car.
Well, we can't.
The relay did not work.
The relay didn't work. We lost on that one.
You lost on the relay. But I did put on a piece of sticky tape inside the glove compartment your phone number so that the
great.
next owner could contact you.
So we may get a call.
Yes.
With someone with the same problem, and we still won't know the answer.
But we'll know
that it's not the real
We can say with certainty that it's not the fuel pump relay.
We know for certainty it's that.
Did you divulge to the new owner that there was anything wrong with it, or there might be something wrong, or you just...
I have listened to your show much too long.
So you didn't divulge?
To have
so I've been
done something like that.
Right. No, you just sold it. It started the day they came to drive it around, and it was, this is the greatest car. See you later. Have fun. Good luck.
That's exactly right.
If Ken Starr gets a hold of this tape, you're done for.
Well, Kate, thank you for playing Stump the Chumps, and I wish we could have helped you or whoever.
Well, it was a real honor to be part of your show.
Well, we may get our chance yet because of that taped phone number.
Yeah.
So to speak.
It's coming around a second time, I'm telling you.
All right. Thanks for playing, Kate.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you want to talk to us about an important problem, our number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255.
What about the 888-227-8255? What? Hey, that slipped right off the tip of my tongue. Did you see that?
Oh, scary. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hey, this is Carolee, and I'm calling you from Pensacola, Florida.
Carolee?
Yes.
C-A-R-A-L-E-E?
Oh, no.
K-A-R.
It's K-A-R-I-L-Y.
Carolee?
Yeah. Yeah, and my dad made it up, so I have to give him credit for that.
He made it up.
It's different. Yeah, he did.
How did he do that? It must be a combination of a couple of people's names?
Actually, here's the story. I was born. They didn't have a name for me. They decided to wait a couple days and think about it.
Yeah.
My dad went home from the hospital, made up the name on the way home because my mom's name is Karen, and his is Jeffrey Lynn, so they just took parts of it, put it all together. There were people calling the hospital saying, hey, how's Carolee? And my mom didn't even know it was my name.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's a cool story.
Gee, I like it. I suppose it's nice to have a completely... A name that no one else has.
It really is. It's really cool because, and I get a lot of attention because everybody wants to know how to spell it.
Carolee, we roll along.
Yeah, exactly. And Sarah Lee and everything.
Sarah Lee, Carolee.
Oh, and nobody doesn't like Carolee. I like it.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind today?
That's the best one. Well, actually, I have a car problem, but I kind of need a little bit of, like premarital counseling.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling you.
Sure.
This is my situation.
Yeah.
I am madly in love with a young man. We've been together for almost 2 years.
Oh, I love stuff like this.
Oh, this is
it's so good.
great.
His name is Sam, and he's just perfect.
So
Now,
is he madly in love with you?
Oh, even more than I'm in love with him.
Really?
It's wonderful.
That's
really
great.
It's perfect.
And how did you two find each other?
Well, I'm a college student, And he was dating
And he's a
my
50-year-old professor, right? No, I'm sorry. What is he?
Actually, no, he's a master's student here, and I'm an undergrad.
Oh, so he's just a few years older than you.
Yeah, but he was dating my roommate when I got here, but...
And you stole him away.
That's how we met, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It's a good story.
And the
evil
roommate,
person,
do you and the roommate still speak? Or?
Actually, we do. It was really, really rough for about 2 months, but it's good now.
Yes,
so.
they communicate via death threats.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of interested in how this happens. I mean, she's your roommate. He comes one day. He shows up. He knocks on the door to pick her up to go out on a date.
No, it was better than that.
Better.
It was better than that.
Give us all the sordid details.
Give it to us.
All right. Well, when I met him, he was an undergrad. He was a junior.
Yeah.
And I was a brand new freshman here.
Yeah.
And they had just started to date, and they were doing stuff and going different places. And he and I was a speech major and he was a speech minor, so we had one speech class together.
And you were speechless at this time.
Yeah. Well, not
So
yet,
you knew
but,
each other.
Yeah. And
so
the
you
thing
had
was,
already sort of checked him out?
No, exactly the opposite.
Oh.
They had talked on the phone, and I had seen a picture, but I just thought, whatever, some guy.
Yeah.
So then one day, I'm on my way to the speech class, and my roommate stops me, and she says, hey, could you give Sam this note? So I'm, whatever, whoever, I don't care.
Threw the note away, right?
Well, yeah, so I bring him the note, and when I hand it to him, I could care less, and he says, hey, is this from you? And I said, why would I write you? I don't have a reason. He said, maybe you should, and I said, maybe you should give me a reason. And I walked away.
I love it.
Exactly, and then the next day we got into a long conversation, and ever since then he's been mine. So
wow,
exactly. But I mean, he's perfect. So I
So
don't
he
have
had
a
the
problem
hots
with
for
him.
you already, but he didn't know how to really approach it. And this was his line.
Well,
Maybe you should give me a note.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
that
so-
was
So
good.
you're both
That's how I
guilty. You're
feel.
both going to burn in hell. But anyway, what problem are you having with your car?
Well, actually, I don't have a car. That's why I'm calling you.
Uh-huh.
This is my situation.
Well, why don't you go steal one like you got the boyfriend?
Sure, maybe your roommate has a car you can steal.
Yeah, you can take her car too. What the hell?
Yeah, I need to find roommates with nice cars. I'll tell you what. All right. He drives a Toyota Tercel.
Yeah.
But it'll be 2 years in November, and we're talking, down the road. We've got a couple marriage plans, probably in a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's fine for him to drive the Tercel, but when we're married, later on, I just feel like I need a Volvo. Okay.
What's his major?
He graduated with a degree in youth ministries. He wants to be a youth pastor, but he's getting his master's in education.
Oh.
You're not going to be
yeah.
driving no stinking Volvo.
No.
Well-
Well, you might be. A 76
But
Volvo.
see, he doesn't want one.
Oh, he doesn't want
No.
Volvo.
And why do you want something as swinging as a Volvo?
Why do I want it?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're sexy and racy and all that. I mean, and they're irresistible.
But guys, the thing is, I don't even want one of the new ones. I really just want one of like the old '80s ones where
One of
they're
those
all
real,
boxy.
the
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
boxy ones.
You
Yeah,
want
that's what I want.
The ones
I
that
just-
say this side up on the roof.
So, it's not even really image for me that much. It's just
Yeah.
I want one. Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
All right, well, you'll have it. It's yours,
Yeah,
Carol.
hey,
You'll have it, yeah.
Well,
And he doesn't want one.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't know if it's that he doesn't want one, but here's the thing. If we get a Volvo, I will be the primary driver. And that means that naturally, because I'm an absolutely horrible driver, we'll need a lot of repairs done frequently on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he says that it would be a bad idea to get one because supposedly you have to order the parts from overseas or something. It's really expensive. And I don't know what to say to him because I don't know anything about cars, and I don't know, hey, yeah, you can buy parts here. It'll be cheap.
Well, try this if you don't know what to say to him. Hun, you're nuts.
Well, it's true that Volvo parts are made overseas because it is a
but-
foreign Swedish-made car.
They sell more cars here than they sell over there.
Well, see, that's what I thought. But
Sure.
But,
no, that's bogus.
But,
I mean,
but what if we do need repairs? He doesn't want one because he says it wouldn't be smart, and I'd have accidents all the time anyway.
well, here's what you tell him. He's
What?
got a Tercel,
Okay.
Japanese, and you just tell him that Sweden is much closer than Japan.
Good idea.
So we'll get the parts in half the time.
Okay.
So whatever time it takes to get parts for his Tercel, it'll be half the time.
Yeah, and moreover, if you are accident-prone, what's better to drive than a Volvo?
They're built like tanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
And
tell 'em-
besides, he must have figured out by now that whatever you want,
you're
going to get.
Well, that's the way it is.
It's as simple as that.
That's the way it is.
I don't even know if he cares about the time. I think it's just like he says the parts would be expensive to order.
They are expensive. Volvo parts are more expensive than they are for Tercel, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
but don't worry about it.
Well, that's how I feel.
Yeah, and tell him if it doesn't shape up, you're going to give him back to your old roommate.
Well, and then I know I'll get a Volvo.
Who's pining away, I'm
That's
sure.
Right. And you're going to find another roommate with a Volvo.
See you, Carolee.
All right, thanks for your help.
Good luck, and thank you for calling.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, it's time to take another short break.
Well, why don't we ever take any long breaks?
Well, we will eventually. It's called Getting Cancer. But for now, we'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to NPR because you're curious. You want to know what the world is like beyond the surface. NPR feeds that curiosity with stories from real people with real experiences and all the perspectives that come with them. It's our right to be curious and our prerogative to listen. So keep your curiosity alive. Hear the bigger picture every day on NPR.
Pop Culture Happy Hour, NPR's easy-breezy, laid-back pop culture podcast, has brought you the best in culture for the past 15 years.
That means we spent the last 15 years talking about what exactly?
Bad reality TV, actually good Marvel movies,
Actually awful Marvel movies.
reboots, pop music,
Prestige dramas.
Netflix slop. That's 15 years of buzzy pop culture chit-chat, and here's to many more with you along for the ride. Listen to Pop Culture Happy Hour on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Wildcard podcast, Michelle Obama says she's reinventing herself.
I don't know if my ambition has ever fully been able to actualize itself. I think I'm now at a stage in my life where all my choices are mine.
I'm Rachel Martin. Listen to Wildcard for a conversation about balancing family and personal growth with Michelle Obama.
On NPR's Throughline.
Schoolhouses are less expensive than rebellions.
We've been debating the government's role in education since the Civil War.
1/10 of our national debt would have saved us the blood and treasure of the late war.
How the Department of Education tried to fix a divided nation.
Listen to Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us.
Don't do that! You woke me up out of a deep sleep.
We're Click and Clack, the Tapper Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the used puzzler.
Oh, used.
Now,
new and used.
As both of our listeners know, every summer the puzzler goes on vacation, and this is his chance to get refreshed, renewed, reinvigorated, reinvented, and what?
And less lousy.
But we know that some of you just can't go a whole week without a Car Talk puzzle. So for you, we have what?
Psychopharmaceutical drug therapy.
No, for you, we have our classic puzzler archive. Every week
Yes.
if the puzzler's on vacation, we'll post a classic Car Talk puzzler on our website. So if you're bored at work, bored on vacation, just head to the Car Talk section of cars.com, and every week you'll find a brand new used used puzzler there. How's that?
www.cars.com, and when you get there, you'll see Car Talk.
And it's time for all of you loyal listeners to send in your puzzler submissions for consideration for the upcoming fall season.
Oh.
Yes.
You mean we haven't been asking
So
this?
all of you that have the puzzler about the three guys that go to the hotel, send in. Don't send in just one copy. When you click on send, you keep doing that. Make sure that we get 8, 9, 10 copies of that email.
Yeah.
I mean, don't
because
risk
we
it.
don't know that one.
No, we don't know that one. The one about the liars and the truth tellers, we don't know that one either. So make sure every week you send us a copy of that. We want to make sure that we get multiple copies.
Excellent. Yeah.
So and of course, if you want to write to us, it's Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Matt 02238. Or, of course, our email address can be obtained from the Car Talk section of cars.com.
Yippee!
Now, if you want to call us.
Yeah. What's the number?
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Nikki Palmer calling from North Carolina.
Nikki, with 2 Ks?
Yes.
Excellent.
2 Ks and an I, no E.
No, I got it. N-I-K.
2 I's, right?
Right.
Yeah, well.
From North Carolina.
Right, North Carolina.
What's up, Nikki?
Well, I have a 1989 Nissan Sentra.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4-speed, and I wrecked it and I totaled it. It's wrecked on the right corner side.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just the body that's really that makes it total.
Yeah, that's what's happened to me too. The brain works, the body's gone though.
I mean, the junkyards will only give me $100 for it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about selling parts from it, but how can I do that and be sure that the parts that I sell, that's the only thing that the mechanics are taking?
Oh, I see. So you plan to like put this out in the front yard and put a sign, you have a lemonade stand next to it, so people can come and buy a glass of lemonade and take off an alternator and a starter.
That'll work?
Well, I mean, have you given up on the idea of keeping the car?
The man told me, the man who gave me the estimate at the body shop said that if anybody tells me that they can fix that car for under $2,000, they're lying.
Well, I suspect that you have frame damage.
Yeah.
So you have to probably get rid of it. And you need to find someone who has the same car that needs an engine and transmission. You need to put an ad in one of those, what do they call them, those bargain hunters guide. Not the newspaper. There's a magazine which we have in this area. It's a one ad type magazine.
For cars.
Mm-hmm.
And it lists all kinds of cars for sale. And you could even advertise your car and maybe sell it to someone who has a Nissan Sentra but has blown the engine. And they may give you like $300 for the car.
Yeah.
But I think that's about as much as you can expect to get.
Because if you're going to try to sell all the individual parts off the car by putting it on your front lawn with the lemonade stand, that's going to be hard to do. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll be there every weekend. You'll be sitting out there with the car every weekend.
Yeah, you could read a lot of books. It wouldn't be bad. But it's tough to do. I understand your idea that the pieces of the car got to be worth a heck of a lot more than $100. And they are. That's why junkyards are in business. Because they will take the car, they'll give you $100 for it, and they'll sell the engine for $250, and they'll sell the transmission for $195, and they'll sell all these different pieces of the alternator for $29.95.
Nikki,
So I can forget that idea.
Take the $100.
Yeah.
Take the $100.
So?
If someone has offered you $100 for this car, grab it.
Really?
Yeah, and spend the weekend at the beach or something.
Yeah.
Good luck, Nikki.
Okay.
And if
Thanks
you find
a lot.
another car, call us.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Eric calling from Philadelphia.
Eric with a C.
Eric with a C.
Philadelphia.
And an E and an R and an I.
Yeah, we got that.
What's the deal with Philadelphia? Is Philadelphia okay?
I've spent 4 years here and I've loved every minute of it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a student at UPenn?
I am a student at UPenn at the medical school.
No kidding.
Yep.
I mean, people always say that part of town is bad, dangerous.
No.
What better place to have the medical students? I mean, everything's wrong.
You got a lot of emergency room experience.
Exactly.
It has its character.
So what's shaking, Eric?
Well, the thing is, I've got a 91 LeBaron that's just been killing me for a long time now, and I'm hoping you can help me out.
I'll bet it has. Yeah.
Well, I spent the past year out of the country, and I left the car with my brother.
Oh.
And when I came back, he'd noticed a small problem with it, that it no longer liked to accelerate too often. We'd go to get on the highway, and it just kind of putter along, coming up slowly, slowly, slowly.
Yeah.
So I brought it into a shop, and they said to me, well, do you think it's in the transmission or the engine?
They're asking you.
They were asking me that.
Good.
And I just paused. And I was like, I have no idea what the difference is.
Yeah.
Had it been an anatomy question, I could have handled it, but,
Right.
Then it started making this noise. It's coming from the engine, it sounded like. The engine, supposing. Going, bup, 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 nonstop.
Oh.
This went on for a few days. Brought it into another shop, they're like, oh, your engine's probably going to die and need to be replaced very, very soon. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm a student. I don't have the money to replace it.
No, you don't.
Gee, I suspect that they failed to look at one very simple thing. It's not simple to fix, but they overlooked the fact that this has bad compression on one cylinder.
Bad compression.
Or maybe a couple of cylinders.
Okay.
Does it have 1 million miles on it?
No, that's the thing. It's only got 72,000 miles on it.
Well, that doesn't mean it can't have a bad cylinder. And the reason it's got low power is that it ain't kicking. What is it, a 4-cylinder? Might be a 6.
I think it's a 6-cylinder, actually.
Does it seem to run rough at idle now?
No, not too much.
Not too much.
You know, after it started making the noise and I was told that it needed to have the engine replaced, I was like, well, you know, what could I do to lower that? They're like, well, why don't you put in some thicker oil, like a 2050? So I brought it to go get the oil changed, and there I had 2 shops refuse to change my oil for me.
Oh, it's that bad.
Because of the noise.
Oh, yeah, they don't want to be the last one. It's just, well, I'm sure
So it's a constant...
There's got to be an analogy in the medical profession.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good experience. Sure, a guy comes in and I'm sorry, I can't look at you because I'm sure that you're done for.
That's called managed healthcare, I think.
That's how it works.
There you go. Well, I'm sure that they hear something that's very bad, and they don't want to be responsible for doing its final oil change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you'll come back and sue them and claim that they didn't put the plug back in and you lost all your oil and it's seized and all that.
And this problem may be unrelated to your other problem.
All right.
Yeah, I was
So
just going to say the same thing.
What happened was eventually I put oil in on myself, and most of the noise has gone away. But still, occasionally it's not accelerating. And now I'm just wondering, am I sitting on a time bomb?
Yeah, no, I think the engine's done for, and I think it would be interesting, and it would be an interesting academic exercise to discover why it has low power. But it's a moot point because the engine's going to blow up in 3 days.
Oh, 3 days. Okay.
Well, here's what I would do. Do you change the oil or you added oil?
I just added oil, and now that the noise has gone away, I'm thinking about getting it changed.
Oh, you got to change the oil even if you do it yourself.
Okay. Which is another technique I really don't have under my belt.
No, you take it someplace and ask them to put in 2050 motor oil.
Right.
And I would strongly recommend
Motor Honey.
Rizlone.
Rizlone.
Okay.
It's an oil system additive.
It's an additive, and it will quiet that baby right down.
Now, when they change the oil, do I add them to ask that?
Yes.
Oh, no. I would do this at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 All right, so under a full moon.
Be prepared for the absolute worst, Eric.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not what I needed to hear.
This is not good.
No, it's not good, but interesting.
Good luck, Eric.
See you, Dr. Eric.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, it's happened again. You've squandered another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug, not a slave to fashion, Berman. Our associate producer and dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Ed Grimley Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Imelda Ray Marcos. And our engineer is Dennis Foley, assisted today by Jonathan Into the Fire Marston. Our technical, spiritual, and dinner advisor is Mr. John S. Lawler. We have to use his middle initial for legal purposes. Yes. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Marge Novera. Our customer care representative is Haywood Jabuzoff, assisted by Kurt Rifai. Our director of catering is Russell Upsonbrug, and our telephone solicitation response specialist is Teresa Nobody Home. Teresa Nobody Home. Our staff gossip columnist is Bud Insky. Peekaboo Street directs our intensive care unit, which is known as the Peekaboo ICU. Our director of moral support is You Demand, assisted by You Go Girl. You go girl. You go girl. Our sexual harassment counselor is Pat McCann, and our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Sheehan Howe is Louis Dewey. Known to the tourists in Harvard Square is Louis Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. Don't drive like my brother.
Don't drive like my brother.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now here is our chief mechanic, Mr. Vinny Gumbatz, with some very interesting information.
You think this is interesting? I'd like to see your plans for Saturday night. Hey, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is number 33, you call our Shameless Commerce Division, and the number there is 1-888-CAR-JUNK.
And what if someone wanted other Car Talk paraphernalia, like T-shirts and CDs? Would they call that same
No, you call Plano Cacheras, you dope. Of course you call the same number, 888-CAR-JUNK, or you can get stuff through the online Shameless Commerce Division of the Car Talk section at cars.com.
Thank you very much, Vincent. It is always a pleasure to work with you, sir.
I'll work with this chump. Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham and Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though dogs run under the couch every time we say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
Grab a snack, make the bed, check your mail, or catch up on the latest news with the NPR News Now podcast. Listen in the time it takes you to do any of those other activities or while doing them. We bring you the stories you need to know in just 5 minutes every hour of every day. Listen now to the NPR News Now podcast.
On NPR's Throughline,
school teachers are going to be the ones that rebuild our society in a way that is more cohesive. Basically, where soldiers set down their arms, school teachers need to pick up their books.
How the U.S. Department of Education tried to fix a divided nation.
Listen to Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
Celebrate independence and support public radio. From July 1st through 6th, get 30% off store-wide at the NPR shop. From fan-favorite mugs to the newest NPR gear, everything's on sale. And every purchase helps power the public radio you love. Shop now at shopnpr.org.